Hello students, in this video we're going to teach you how to be specific with evidence and also teach you about how to do that while paraphrasing, which is different from using direct quotations. So after this video you should be well on your way to achieving mastery on this part of the rubric.
So paraphrasing is a little bit different than direct quotes. When you paraphrase, you're taking the author's words and you're translating them into your own words. You're not direct quoting. So paraphrasing does a lot of things. It helps you provide a reflective understanding of your knowledge of the information you're providing, and it brings some uniqueness to your writing and keeps the reader engaged.
You can imagine that if you just put direct quotes throughout your whole paper, it wouldn't really sound like your paper. It would sound like other person's paper.
Right.
So a good paper will use a combination of paraphrasing and direct quotes throughout the paper in order to make it so it's still your own style, but it also has specific evidence.
Again, with your goal of making the reader think the way you think about whatever topic it is that you're writing around.
So oftentimes in writing, when we're grading papers, we find that we get very, very general statements. And general statements can show some good thinking. It's a good start, but they aren't very good at explaining why.
And if you don't give a lot of specific facts to back up your general ideas, then it kind of ends up like going into this general store. We see a picture of this general store. You're going to go into the general store and you're like grabbing everything you see on the counters, and there's not really a whole lot of like really homemade bread that you would find in like a homemade bakery. So if I want a homemade bread, I'm going to go to a homemade bakery. And if I'm going to just get a loaf of bread, I'm going to go to the general store where it's kind of just general.
So general statements don't really support your point. Most of the time you have to have a direct quote. You'll need to paraphrase your evidence. And some good evidence can be stories, historical examples, facts, or statistics. So this is some work that is from students, and we have taken what students have typed and we have changed it to make it what we would consider to be at the mastery level.
This was a piece coming from your Syria papers that you guys wrote.
So let's improve this statement. So you see here that this is directly from some work, and this is the kind of statement that we would consider to be far too general.
It says, it says, Iran has been helping Syria attack its own people. Russia does not want us to punish Syria, but the United States wants to attack Syria. If we attacked, Americans would regret when we decided to attack Syria. So this is like really, really general. It's almost so general that it's confusing.
And also, like, it's not bad thinking. Like, yeah, it's true. Russia does not want us to punish Syria, but there needs to be more.
There needs to be evidence
to be more specific.
To support that.
So I've screen captured a couple of websites that could give us that evidence. You see here that a statement from the Russian Foreign Ministry warned of catastrophic consequences for Syria and the region if the United States and its allies intervene. It also expressed serious disappointment after the United States announced it would back out of a meeting this week. So it's clear from this statement that there's some evidence and some reasons why Russia does not want us to attack Syria. And here you see that Russia has actually joined the Syrian government and backed them that they didn't use chemical weapons. So between these two sources, we have a lot of information that we can include to make our statement about Russia and Syria more specific.
We can make our general statement very specific. So we can make our general loaf of bread into a really yummy, tasty, homemade loaf of bread.
So you see the original general statement isn't bad. I didn't even throw it away. I just added what you see here in yellow to make the statement more specific.
So the original statement, Russia does not want us to punish Syria, but the United States wants to attack Syria. In a recent news release, Russia has issued the United States a serious warning if it attacks Syria. Some reasons for this include the fact that Russian government is very skeptical of the video information that proves Syria used chemical weapons is credible. So we've taken what we've learned, the evidence, and we've paraphrased it here in yellow to support our very general green statement. And then notice what's highlighted in blue. This shows that Russia will not be very happy if the United States decides to get involved with Syria. That blue part is the analysis that we're saying this shows, this is evidence and we're using it. This shows what we're trying to say about the evidence. So the analysis part is just as important. You need to provide very specific evidence and then show that analysis.
So you see here, if we go back to the original, good thinking, but not really anything to support it, no specific evidence. And instead of using a direct quote that we could have used in this yellow part, we paraphrase some information from the two different texts that support our general statement. So in the end, what did we do? First, we found some factual evidence to support our thinking. We knew that Russia didn't want the United States to attack, but we had to figure out why. So we found two sources that showed that Russia didn't want to attack.
Then we wrote the evidence in our own words to reflect our own understanding and make clear of our point to the reader.
And finally, we just added that analysis statement to show why that evidence that we listed was important.
So now we want to see you do this in your writing.
So when we see, if you're working on this category, we want to see specific evidence from the texts in your own words to back up your general thinking.
Good.